Today we'll paddle the north stretch of the Armand Bayou Coastal Preserve. This route is a sharp contender for my favorite and most frequented local paddle destination, as it offers a pristine bayou experience packed with coastal wildlife. Though it's not far removed from the centers and subdivisions of suburban civilization, you'll find yourself feeling far removed from it on these picturesque backwaters. While there are a handful of access points that will get you to this leg of Armand Bayou, the most utilized seems to be Bay Area Park. Here you'll find all the standard amenities, including restrooms, ballparks, a playground, and a dog park. As far as the launch situation goes, the park offers two options. There is a standard concrete ramp, as well as a paddlecraft-specific slide launch attached to the fishing pier. Just a note, other than the occasional Texas Parks and Wildlife vessel, powered craft is not allowed in the preserve, so that's one of the many pluses afforded by this route. Once we set out from the launch, we'll head right under the Bay Area Boulevard Bridge in the north leg of the bayou. From here, the journey really begins to take on its own Gulf Coast bayou ambiance. Chances are you'll begin seeing wildlife in no time. The standard offerings of Gulf Coast waterfowl are plentiful here. You're likely to see plenty of herons, cormorants, egrets, and cranes, along with the possibility of brown and white pelicans, ibises, and spoonbills. Assuming the weather is not too cool or unforgiving, you're almost certain to see a fair amount of American alligators along the route as well. In fact, I've taken out several paddlers with the expressed desire to see gators, and they've regularly stated that this is their preferred spot, ranking beyond many other contenders on the Texas and Louisiana coast. The only other place I've paddled that would give Armand Bayou's gator population a run for its money is White's Bayou in Anahuac, which is, incidentally, referred to as the alligator capital of Texas, with estimates citing 4 gators for every 1 human resident. We'll touch more on gators in just a bit, but first, let's talk about the demographic and topography itself. You have 2 options. One is to bear right onto a straight stretch known as Big Island Slough. This is a nice option for the novice, as it is well sheltered by tall trees and offers great extended visibility, which is a plus to some who have concerns about suddenly encountering bayou inhabitants around the twisting turns of the other route that we'll talk about momentarily. This one is a favorite for those wishing for more of a calm, float-the-river experience. At approximately 2 miles, you'll run into the overpass of Red Bluff Road. There is a small park on the left here with slide launch access as well. If you continue under Red Bluff, you'll now be in a low-laying drainage ditch that is primarily flanked by the industrial scenery of refining facilities, snaking pipelines, and storage yards. Even so, there are some nice tree-lined areas where I've seen many does and some of the nicest bucks I've encountered in the area. I've taken this route a good ways into Pasadena, about 8 miles before turning back. I've never found the end of this one. While this tract is noteworthy, I find the second option to be hands down the best of the bunch. Instead of bearing right onto Big Island Slough, you'll keep left, which will lead you down miles of meandering waters with a backcountry isolated feel. There are so many twists and turns on this journey that it keeps paddlers from any notion of monotony that might come with more straight and open tracts. Other than some of the areas trampled by occasional hogs, coastal vegetation will line much of the shore. This route is fairly sheltered from punishing winds, given both the tree-laden banks and the many changes in direction that come with the ever-bending bayou. There are a few pretty open stretches, but even on days where you're forced to fight the wind, there will always be at least temporary relief around the next bend. The most commonly traversed route ends at another point of Red Bluff Road. This is where the vast majority of paddlers turn back, making the trip a respectable distance of approximately 7 miles. However, you can bear left here, which takes you into a much tighter stretch. I've paddled this section a handful of times and found it to be pretty dynamic. Overhanging vegetation chokes out much of the sunlight here. This, coupled with the more stagnant waters, give this portion a bit of an eerie feeling. Since the water is far less prone to move back here, there's a good amount of debris along the banks here from prior storms. Do exercise some caution back here as well, due to both snug and shallow conditions, as it gives some of the resident gators less room to avoid you, as they're generally prone to do. Speaking of being gator smart, I want to reiterate that there is no cause for alarm at the prospects of sharing these waters with them. Keep a respectful distance when possible, keep away from potential nests, and take some time to learn about these misunderstood creatures. A quick note that the water is generally a gator's safe space. If you're new to the hobby and entirely uninitiated with their habits, there's no need to panic when a good-sized gator splashes into the water from the bank in your vicinity. They're as interested in keeping distance as you are, but their instincts lead them to the water every time in my many years of experience. They're not coming to ambush you, but rather creating space where they can move most efficiently. You'll also encounter many gar on this route, which gives some newbies a scare as they have a habit of surfacing nearby and occasionally popping up with a surprisingly generous splash. Overall, I really cannot speak highly enough about this route. It is all but unprecedented in its consistency of wildlife encounters. It offers fair to good shelter from wind and keeps away the monotony with its many bends. It is generally free of the potential hazards of powered craft and can be floated calmly or accomplished with all the exertion your stamina will permit. This destination punches far above its local weight class and has been a favorite of Bay Area paddlers for many years. It's well worth a visit, and I wager that your first time will not be your last. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more Gulf Coast paddling and outdoors content. Paddle smart. God bless.